Today's episode will be an interesting one. What are good partner margins for a vendor? I feel like this is a changing standard and it's been shrinking lower and lower. Does that sound about right, Sam?
100%. When we started to develop the AvePoint Partner Program, we set out with the intent to make a next generation partner program. While there's a lot of factors we had to consider, the biggest revelation was how partners made money overall with their vendors.
So, based on your tone, I'm guessing that's not through margins.
That's correct. Large vendors like Microsoft and AWS have been shrinking their margins slowly but surely over the past couple years. The reason is that partners are making the majority of their money not on the resale, rather on the services that are bundled with the vendor's tools.
Well, that makes a lot of sense. But it gets back to that question, though. So, even considering the shift in how partners make money, what are reasonable rates that a partner can expect to receive?
Yeah, so I'll start with the evil consulting answer, which is it depends. But you should really consider when looking at margins is what is the return on the partnership working with this vendor. But to be more specific, large companies like Microsoft and AWS have by far the tightest margins, sometimes as low as 3% on that new sale. However, they're also have the largest, biggest brand and resource impact too. If you become a Microsoft or AWS certified partner, you've added a massive amount of credibility to your organization. Also, these licenses aren't so cheap. So even with tighter margins, if your company is reselling at a certain scale, it can make a big difference. SaaS companies like that are AvePoint size can be close to the 15 to 20% range. While the software capabilities might not be as expansive, we offer advanced training, dedicated account managements, and this is ultimately how we're able to compete when more and more sales are going out. And we have to make our margins stand out a bit more because we're just not as large as some of those sometimes $1 trillion organizations. But we're also introducing additional benefits such as rebates and MDF programs to make sure that the total amount that you're receiving from AvePoint far exceeds that 20% of sale in a total year. Now, with other vendors that have more on-prem solutions, they can go up to 30 to 35% on their margins. However, you have a cost to set up and to maintain that back end. So you'll have to factor that into account when you're looking at the total return on partnership.
When you phrase it as return on partnership, you begin to see that margins don't make up the entire story.
Absolutely. You can actually speak with when you think about it, can you actually speak with a team member from the vendor? Are you getting rebates? Are they easy to access? Is MDF an option? What are the services you can develop around the solution? Does the vendor share leads with you? What's your better together story from an executive perspective? It's one of those things that it's not easy to really figure out all the times how these partnerships are set up and designed. So more and more vendors are trying to offer more and more capabilities and benefits of their partnership just outside of the initial margin. The fact of the matter remains that partner margins are becoming just a small piece of that overall puzzle.
That is some great insight. And I'm sure there are a lot of folks that are out there that get hung up on the number and don't take the entire relationship into account. And AvePoint, of course, we're all about that relationship. We're working to create more and more opportunities for our partners and to really increase the value of that return on partnership. It's very important to us. And as always, to find out more about partnering with AvePoint, you can go to us, visit our site at www.avepoint.com/partners.